Talk to us about that Leighton Orient promotion, because I completely forgot they got promoted last year along with Stevenage. So talk to us about that promotion party.
Yeah, so good. Just like one of the best teams I've ever been involved with in terms of quality, and the togetherness was unbelievable. And like we were honestly like still got a group chat together to this day. We're just all like, if we ever see each other, we're just like biggest smile, biggest hug. And anyone will tell you, anyone they've been promoted with that sort of group of the same thing, you can see them at any point throughout your lifetime, and you know that you're just gonna chat about those times together, and you're gonna have that bond forever. And it was just unbelievable.
Inside the Mind of, brought to you by VIP Framing. Tottenham do have the leverage where they can just go and pick up the majority of players as Watford are more of a local family-friendly club, like you just said. Why do you think that is? Do you think it is because Tottenham are the bigger club?
I can only go off my experience, and obviously my experiences are from 9 to 11, so I don't know. So I've definitely changed now, and it'll just go off the coaches. But the coach I had when I was 9 to 10 was great. Ray Nicholson, his name was, and I remember now. And he was smile, just have fun. And look, if we win, we win, and we want to win. Of course, we want to win, but let's just have fun, express yourself. And then the coach the next year was complete opposite of that, and it was more, okay, we're getting older now, 10 years old here. Getting older now, we need to do these drills properly, we need to do this and all that. And it was just like, wow, okay, like this isn't fun at all. So I'm a big believer in leaders and coaches in any walk of life massively affect your experience. That affected me a lot, I feel. And when I went back to Watford, it was a similar feel to how Ray was for my first year at Spurs. So I think it was just the coach at that time, and there's nothing against him. Obviously, it's just that was his capability at the time. But it didn't help me, and I don't think it helped many of the other players as well. And that made me fall like I love football.
Inside the Mind of, brought to you by VIP Framing.
So I went to Bradford on loan. Come back for the rest of the season after that at Bury, and under Ryan Lowe, and Lowe was a lot better leader, but the damage was already done then. The team and the dressing room would taken us down already. So I went down, probably the lowest point of my definitely the lowest point of my career. Off the pitch was as close to depression as you can get. If not, I was depressed. I moved away from home for the first time, missing my family. Just living on my own in a flat, just no friends, nothing. The team didn't go out together and stuff like that. So it was a really tough time for me with everything considered. The off season, I got to come home, see my family, have some good time. I remember going there, just remember thinking like, this is completely different feel to what I've ever had on loan. It was a really together group. It was a bit of it had sort of that sort of crazy gang feel to it. Of like there was a few characters there that were really like charismatic and full of life. And it was just something that really, at that point in my career, they could have been like, you young lad and you're from Watford and stuff, and they took me under their wing and just opened my eyes to the lower leagues and how togetherness can really just get you through a season, and how much it can help your performance and the results. And I loved it there pretty much. And that's a summary of my whole time there, really. We had a great group, and I got along really well with them all, and they made me feel at home there, even though I was probably about over an hour away from my home, and settled in straight away. And after 6 months, I think signed a permanent there. And that was definitely one of the happiest times of my career, I think.
How happy were you, though, to go through these loan moves and now going ahead and signing the contract that probably you were so desperately in want of, to go ahead and see that a club really wants you as much as you would want them? Inside the Mind of, brought to you by VIP Framing.
So I was right back then as well, yeah.
You got called up for your country to be able to play for Northern Ireland. I mean, let's go in and talk in depth about these games. But firstly, at 18 years old, you were at Watford at the time. Neil Worthington was the manager. Was that a phone call?
Yes, it was a phone call. Yeah, I was doing my homework. I remember it now. Doing my homework, and then I think they called my parents, my home phone at the time. Obviously, I don't have a home phone now. I don't know if many people do, but I called my home phone, and they come up and just said, we've just had a call from, I don't think it was Nigel Worthington. I think it was someone to do with the FA, with the Irish FA, and they said, we'd like you to come. So sorry, this was at under 16s. I got called up for the first time. That was my under 16s. And then from then on, you sort of get called 17s, 19s, 21, first team. But I remember that first under 16s call up, and it was just like, again, I was like, I don't understand really this is a different world, like people playing international. And I'm like 16 years old at Watford, and I'm like, I didn't even know, like, Watford I don't think it was in the Premier League then. I was like, I didn't even know I'd be considered for that. And it was just like again, my family was just like, this is ridiculous. Like, what a dream this is. Like, I qualified through my mum's mum, my nan. I didn't even know that was a thing. And I was just like, wow. And again, that was a lot of out of my comfort zone, a lot of pressure. And again, the same thing happened to them. Their coaching staff, Desi Curry, unbelievable, made it all so enjoyable. And it was just like, yeah. And then from that point, just gave me the platform, really, yeah.
Inside the Mind of, brought to you by VIP Framing.
I think.
The call-up for the senior team came at 18 years old, and Neil Worthington was the manager at the time, as I said earlier. Do you remember that first game? I've got them down here, but could you talk us through that debut game?
Yeah, debut game was, I come on against Scotland, probably 60th minute or so. I think it was about 3-0 down already by then. And it was in like a Carling Nations Cup, like a tournament. And it was at the Aviva Stadium in Ireland. And I just remember going there and thinking like, wow, this is ridiculous. Like, because at that point I had played for Watford a couple of times, and it was obviously a great stadium, Watford, but like it wasn't the Aviva Stadium. And I remember thinking like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is like what I'm striving for. Never ever thought I'd have a chance coming on. In the 60th minute, he sort of threw me on at centre back, and I remember playing. Kenny Miller was the striker for Scotland, and at the time he was like Fox in the bot. He was like a good striker. And I remember thinking like, oh no, here we go, already 3-0 down, and it stayed at 3-0. And my dad was there to watch, and just like ridiculous moment again. Like I think we got like a police escort to the stadium on the way there, and I'm just like, what? I don't understand what's going on here. Like, is this like what it's like to be like a top footballer? So yeah, that was unbelievable experience. And then I think a few days later, or the next meet up, I then got a start through that performance against Republic of Ireland, and that was a bit of a different experience. So I played that game, and we lost. I think we was 3-0 down after a certain amount of time, maybe 50, 60 minutes, and I was last man, pushed Robbie Keane over, and got a straight red card. So end up losing 5-0. So it was, but like, I didn't really care. I was just like, I'm just playing international football here against like these, Kenny Miller and Robbie Keane.
Inside the Mind of, brought to you by VIP Framing.